Hello, hello. Can you guys see me okay? It's kind of dark in here, isn't it? Although we got big bright sun behind us. Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay, if you guys can see me okay. And we'll get started. Hi, Sylvia. Hello, sweetheart. Hi, Kim. Hi, Emma. I got these little curly wheelers coming out. Looks like. Can you guys see me okay? It's a little dark, isn't it? Aw, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you too. I don't know if it's the same date in America. Seems like everybody's celebrating it on a different date in the world. Hello, everybody. So good to be here today. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Same in the US and Italy too. Okay, great. Because in France, it's on June 4th. So weird. And then I saw online that there's other dates for Mother's Day as well. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Well, let's get started. I hope you guys all had a great day so far. We had a lot of sun today. Yesterday was really cold and rainy and droopy. Kind of been a droopy week, but then today was really sunny, and I did my channeling and posted the Patreon post and for Mother's Day, and then Gerald and I and Leah and Jada, we kind of enjoyed the outdoors and just sat in the garden on a big blanket, and all the cats were joining us and starting to snooze, and everybody's just enjoying the weather, just grounding and connecting to earth as much as we could, listening to some music and listening to the birds, because there's a lot of birds having a busy time at this moment, building nests and impressing girls. He's busy, busy, busy in the garden when it comes to nature. All right, well, let's get started so we can get as many people done as possible. Who am I being drawn to first? All right. Let's see here. Sylvia. Let's get you a card, Sylvia. Let's get you a card, honey. This one. All right. Make sure. Nikki sending you his love. I can hear kind of like singing a happy Mother's Day song in harmony. That's kind of what it feels like. It's not really a song, but it's more like a declaration of love and it's almost like just an expression of gratitude, you know, of the wonderful mom that you are and that you continue to be. And you can hear Nikki say, you have this day, you have to declare yourself as Princess Peach. Put that crown on, he says, and allow the boys to drive you around so you can wave. I don't know if that makes any sense. But he's calling you Princess Peach, and he's talking about the boys driving you around in their carts, just kind of waving. That's what he's showing me. Whoop, there it is. That's a cool card. I haven't seen that one yet. Back on task. Be sure you are using your time in the best possible manner. You might consider reviewing your goals, your schedule, or a project you are working on. All could use some fine tuning. Interesting. For some reason, I'm not really drawn to the octopus that's on this, but I am drawn to the color, the purples. You see all these kind of, they're like purple spots and stars, and there's something about the color purple that's really standing out right now in this card. And it's almost like the color purple also represents the third eye. It represents being back in communications with one's higher self, reconnecting the focus onto oneself and its own expansion. That's really what it comes down to. Because in order for you to truly understand what the future might bring for you, what you want it to bring for you, because it's really your desire that's going to come forward. You truly and fully have to open yourself up again to be receptive to the communication of the higher self. For so long now, the focus has always been on others. The focus has been on taking care of others, on, um, in a way, neglecting yourself in order to have the energy and the focus and the drive to do the things that you had to do, to complete the things you were supposed to do, to bring it to completion. In other words, in order for you to be able to have done what you've done and to have been successful at it, you had to let go completely of your ego, of your human um, side of self, your human needs, in order to be of service to others, willingly, um, without any effort and without any hesitation, to self-sacrifice many things. Does that kind of make sense? And so these color purples that are kind of sparkling and sparkling right there, right? um, it's just kind of speaking to me that, the time for self-development, the time for reinvention of the self, or it's not really reinvention, Nikki says. It's really about fine-tuning what it really is you still want to experience. Because right now he's showing me that you're really trying your best. You're putting in all the effort. You're doing all of the energy again to really continue with life and continue to create and to continue to rediscover yourself in some way or form. But and that's good, he says, and it just all comes down now to fine tuning. It's about fine tuning what you're requesting the universe to manifest for you. Right now, you have ideas, but you haven't fine tuned it yet. And so, what you're emitting, what you're energetically requesting, if you want to look at it that way, what we're sending out signal wise, um, is still on the vague side. So try and really sit with yourself, try and really just kind of allow the complete freedom to dream up anything you can put your mind to, anything you wish is a possibility for you, but you have to allow yourself to accept that that is a possibility for you. Okay, you cannot block yourself because you're thinking I'm too old, or I'm too this, or I'm not qualified, or whatever the excuses are. He says, get rid of any excuses that makes you feel less or less capable of achieving certain goals, and simply fine tune your energy by fine tuning what it is you're asking the universe to do. Okay. And that's really what it is. Fine tune, he says. And then you will see that the universe can provide you better with what it is that you want to experience. I don't know. That's a lot of stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I hope it does. And just know that your boys love you very, very much. And they are so proud that you have agreed to take on a difficult task as to being their mama. All right. All right. You're welcome, honey. All right. S. Drews. Is it Susan? I think it's Susan, right? If I remember correctly. Wants a card for her daughter, Kat. All right. Let's get her a card. Which one? This one. Happy Mother's Day. A card for Kat. Whoop-ah. There it goes. I feel like we need another one. We got look at a book so far. I feel like I need to pull another one to blink clarity. Because I feel like the word clarity is what Kat is looking for. I feel like she's a little bit lost or uncertain of her path, of her destiny, if you want to look at it that way. Although you make your own destiny. Destiny's kind of... Okay. So you have look at a book and flourish. Okay, look in a book. Whatever your question right now, you'll find the answer in a book. The words you find will bring the insight that you're seeking. And flourish, the lotus flower fairy tells you to learn from experience and shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life or those of others. What am I getting? So I'm very much drawn to the pink color in these cards. Both of them have some pinkish in them. And the flower that she's holding it on her head. So like I said, it just feels to me like she's a little bit unsure about where she's going, what she should be creating or following. And really the only thing that's hindering her is the inability to see the potential in her, is what they're saying. She seems to always compare herself to others, is what I'm getting in my head. And what they're saying is when it comes to looking a book, right? When it comes to that card, I feel like she needs to, the card says the answers are in a book, but I feel like she's the book. She needs to learn to write her own story. She is too dependent on the outside world to tell her what she should do. She's too dependent on what she sees other people do. She's too influenced by that. She's too, the insecurities that she feels inside are a direct result of the confusion that the outside world brings to her, that friends and maybe family even bring to her. It's not their intention to bring confusion, but because she has such a hard time trusting in her own identity and trusting in her own creative powers, she's constantly reliant and dependent on the views and perspectives and actions of others in order for her to find her way. So when it comes to the look in a book card, it feels to me that she needs to write her own book. She needs to write her own story. It all comes down to daring, having the courage to pick up that pen and to start from scratch and say, okay, what do I like to do? What do I not like in a job? What do I not like in life? What makes me feel excited? It's really about starting to write down all the things that she loves about life, all the things that excite her, that passion that she's passionate about, regardless, completely disconnected from what other people around her are doing or what other people around her are saying she should do or influencing or whatever it may be. So she literally has to take an empty book and start scribbling in it. And slowly but surely, the more she allows to understand, the more, it's not really that, the more she allows to believe in herself and in the uh, infinite possibilities of her creative sources and her creative powers, the more she'll be able to determine what it is that she wants to experience. Especially when it comes to a job, when it comes to relationships. I feel like in every aspect of her journey, she is insecure in some way or form. And once she does that, once she starts to write her own book, once she becomes completely independent in the creative process of her future, she will flourish. Okay? Because she is meant to experience the uniqueness that she is and to embrace it and share it with the world around her. What she's doing now is complete opposite. She's trying to become like everyone else in some way or form. She's trying to copy what the world believes to be successful and blah, blah, blah. And when she does that, she's completely off track. She's completely walking next to her path, getting lost. So the only way to get back on her path and to get and receive the guidance that she's looking for, she has to start taking the pen and start writing her own story, because that's what she's here to do. She's here to be different. She's here to be unique, and she's here to share that uniqueness and that being different, having different abilities, different skills, different perspectives with her community. She's not here to share what everybody else has been sharing. Okay. So the only way to flourish is to start creating her own story. Okay. That's what I'm getting. I hope that helps. Emma X. Let's get you a card, girly. You're welcome. It's all about redefining success and expansion. And, when we feel like we can't find our own guidance, we start to follow everybody else's idea of success and everybody else's idea of what life should look like. And when we do that, we get completely lost. Okay? Nobody can define for you personally what this journey should be about and how you should experience it and what you should be attracting. But if we start copying everybody else, we'll never find the happiness and the expansion that we're seeking, because we are simply not aligning with our own intention for this journey, which is always a very personal and unique one. All right. Emma, this is the one that I'm getting in. All right. Through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. So, Emma, when I'm looking at this card, I mean, these kind of look like waves, but what I'm seeing is an amethyst kind of cave. Do you see that? I don't think that's what it's meant to be, but that's what I'm seeing. Okay. And for some reason, I feel like being creative, because it's they're talking about create a ripple effect of peace in the world. I feel like um being creative with crystals, or becoming a healer with crystals, or anything that has to do with crystals, is something that would not only benefit your path, your journey, your everyday life, but would also benefit others. Okay. So I feel like you need to maybe look into educating yourself, or really kind of getting passionate about the effects, the healing effects of crystals, or maybe just moving into selling them or using them for healing or whatever it may be. I feel like crystals are an important part of your journey, your personal one, but also what you're here to gift to others. And as the world expands and moves into a higher frequency, the usage of crystals in medicine and in healing modalities is going to increase. And we're also going to, in the future, start using crystals as forms of energy. Okay. So a lot of positive beautiful things are going to happen when it comes to the better understanding of crystals, how we can use them for benefit, but also how we can use them to help and assist people in their journey in whatever shape or state they may be at that time. Crystals are very powerful, and in some way or form, they seem to be an important key or an important puzzle piece in your future as well. All right. So I hope that helps. Kim, let's get you a card, Kim. This one. All right. Guten Tag von Deutschland. Is that how you say it? I studied German, but boy, it's a long time ago. Guten Tag, wie geht's? Something like that, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, and if you don't use it, you lose it. Of course, if I would have moved to Germany, I would have been picking that back up. I usually pick it up pretty quickly if I'm placed in a situation where I have to speak it. It's just when you learn in school, in high school, I had 4 years of German, and you never use it. You just use it in school for those 2 hours a week that you get. You just lose it. But it's very similar to Dutch. So if I twist my Dutch around a bit, then I bet you we could have a German conversation. Here it goes. Let's see what we got. A nice, beautiful pink. True healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the trigger. And then you have a second card that fell out. She says, hello, everything is good with me. Good. My outer experiences are a reflection of my internal condition. Whew, that's deep. But look at that. See how they're like connected? Look at the leaves. Oh, they look like these are the same leaves. Like maybe I'm doing it wrong. Like that. Look at that. Bam. Daytime, nighttime, daytime, nighttime. How cool is that? So what am I getting? There's something about this night and day, night and day. I feel like when you're not busy, and that's where the night and day thing comes in. I feel like the moment you start to slow down your day, the moment you don't have much to do, that's when you start going into that kind of thinking mode. Um, where you then start to focus on the things that you want to change and the things that aren't happening yet, and so on and so forth, right? So I feel like the moment you go into that kind of slow down mode is the moment you start to you know go into kind of the lower frequencies. And basically what they're kind of saying is, one, um no matter what you're feeling at this moment, whether you're having a good day, a bad day, or somewhere in between, just accept it. It's all about being for the moment. You just have to be. We're in this phase of um, transcending completely up in there in those higher frequencies. And the only way to do that is by simply being, by simply surrendering all need for control, all need for, and trying to, always, oh, I'm having these lower feelings. I really need to stay upbeat and I need to stay positive. And, you know, trying to control those feelings is not a surrendering process, because the control really comes again from a fear factor of, but if I don't stay in the higher frequencies, I won't be able to permanently reside in the fifth dimensional plane. See what I'm saying? And basically, what they're saying is it's not about trying to control your emotions, trying to control what frequency you're staying in. It is simply about surrendering to the frequency that presents itself and completely embracing it by knowing that no matter whether I feel great or not great, if I surrender to that, then, both feelings are valuable. Both feelings are there for a reason, are there for a purpose. And by just simply surrendering to it, we release the resistance to stay in a higher frequency. So even if we feel low, we can still elevate our frequency up when we let go of the resistance. Does that kind of make sense? I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that's really what it's all about. Because they're saying here the outer experiences are a reflection of the internal condition, meaning that if you're fighting the fact that, oh, I'm not in the higher frequency, I'm not staying positive, I'm having a little breakdown, I'm having, feelings that are less than positive, then again, that fight that you'll have with yourself is going to reflect itself back at you from the outside. It's going to mirror back. Okay. So what they're basically saying is this for all of you, and this is kind of going out to all of you guys. Um, just simply accept what you're feeling in the moment that you're feeling it. You know, don't. We need to get out of a state of resistance. So if you're feeling shitty, feel shitty. If you're feeling happy, feel happy. But get rid of the resistance, because it's the resistance of not accepting the frequency we are currently in that creates more harm than the feeling itself. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. I'm impatient at the moment and a little bored. Yeah, well, join the club. A lot of people feel the way that you do right now, including me. I feel like I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to trans channel Mary Magdalene, I want to do these kind of monthly things. And it's like, no matter how hard I try, I can't seem to get to it. I have constantly other distractions that are taking away time and space and energy. And the lesson that they're saying to me is the same that they're saying to you: surrender. It's going to happen when it's going to happen. I have tons of ideas of things I want to do, and nothing is unfolding the way I want it to. And so I can choose to get frustrated, or I can choose to just simply say, you know what, whatever, it's going to happen when it happens, right? Everybody who's moving into the 5D is being asked, forced almost, to simply surrender and to just accept what comes with each day, and to just accept that what we want to achieve and what we want to experience is on its way. It's already happening somewhere in a timeline. We simply need to surrender, and eventually, by going through that surrendering process, we will align with that frequency where it's already in existence. Does that kind of make sense? And so what you may feel, and I'm telling you, a lot of people are going through this. Everybody I talk to that's going through ascension symptoms, the ascension symptoms is being fatigued, drained, not having the energy to do what you really want to do, feeling a bit tired of everything, completely, just kind of going, why do I even have to get up this morning? It's okay to feel that way. It is part of the rejection process of the 4D, and the automatization of our frequency. The surrendering process allows us to move into a higher frequency. Okay, it's the resistance that keeps us in 4D. Does that kind of make sense? So in a way, nothing is happening because the universe needs us to just surrender, to give up the needs, give up the wants, because it's those needs. I need this in order to be happy. I want this in order to be happy. It's those needs and those wants that are the resistance, that keep us in the lower frequency. When we completely surrender and go, whatever, what the fuck ever, we completely give the reins to the universe, and the universe says, all right, follow me. And we follow without bringing any resistance into the process, and ultimately we'll end up in a place where everything will seem to just kind of happen eventually. All right. And that's what's being said here. And I believe that this goes for all of you watching this. I'm going through the same thing. I want so many things, and nothing, but absolutely nothing I try seems to get finalized. I do a little bit here and a little bit there, but nothing really gets to where I want it to get, And so I'm also being asked to surrender. Same thing. I'm going to tell you something. Yesterday, I had a weird experience. And like I said, I've been contacting, I don't know, in my dream state, in my awake state, there is an alien race that's been contacting me. It's very weird because I'm not used to, I'm used to spirits, but I'm not used to ETs kind of showing up. And slowly but surely, they're getting me. It's almost like accustomed to their presence. And so I did see them yesterday, and I wanted to share that with you. It was a little bit scary, but I had gone to bed. I had just turned off my light. I just closed my eyes. Oh no, right before that day, that same day, I had watched one of the people that I follow that does cards for, like, Aries and Taurus and all that. And mine is very strange because she said this other entity, and she said that's weird because I never talk about aliens, but for some reason she had to use the word ETs. She said these ETs are trying to reach out to you. And that's something I've been feeling and experiencing for a couple of months now. But they're going to slowly bring it up and start with little images and little things, and slowly build it up until you feel comfortable with them. And so that evening, I was in my bed. I was thinking about that. I was like, that's kind of cool. And I was just expressing before I went to bed, hey, if you guys want to come visit me in my dream state, go ahead. So we get to know each other, right? So I invited them in, basically. And so I turned my light off. I just closed my eyes. And I swear to God, a minute later, I get this vision of me. But the thing that was weird about it, I saw myself, not myself, but I saw like my legs. I could see that it was, I knew it was me, but I could see my legs, so I didn't see my whole self, but I could see my legs. But I was looking at the staircase that I can see from my bed at my mom's house. So not this house, because I recognized the stairs. It was my mom's stairs, and that's the stairs that I always woke up to. That's always the same view, my whole life. So I recognized the view, and this kind of, what they call the gray. It's kind of a short little dude, no hair, big eyes, right? What people call grays. This little dude just came up the stairs, and the first reaction was a little bit of panic. I felt my chest getting a little tight. I know that was a little bit fear because I'd never seen him that close. That I always felt them, but I couldn't see them. And I kept telling myself, it's okay, just calm down, breathe. So I just did some breathing exercises. I had my eyes closed. I knew I had my eyes closed, and still I could see what I could see. And he came over, didn't say anything. I didn't see his mouth move or nothing. But I just felt like in my head, like I just heard my voice saying, just calm down. It's all going to be okay. And then he put his finger here, and I started, like, my whole body started tingling. And it was a very weird feeling, not something I've felt before. It didn't hurt, but it was just weird. And then I must have, I don't know, either I passed out or I fell asleep. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it just kind of went blank, and that was it. And then next morning I woke up. So, but then I started thinking, why am I seeing that on my mom's staircase? So maybe these creatures or these ETs have been visiting me since I was a little girl, and I just wasn't allowed to remember it because I did have a bunch of weird dreams as a kid, and I still do. And I always felt like somebody was watching me in my bedroom. I always had that ever since I was a tiny, tiny girl. I would always look under my bed, and I did that until I was about 18 years old. I looked under my bed every night because I always felt like somebody was in my room. So now I'm starting to wonder if these ETs have been following me since I was a child, and only now I am ready to meet them or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it was kind of a cool experience, and at the same time, a little scary at first. But I must have passed out, or I don't know, something. But I don't remember what happened after he uh, touched my head. And I just had a weird feeling all over my body. So, but anyway, real cool. So cool. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted how it evolves. I had the weird hand that came out of the wall. I've told you guys about that. Um, I just keep you guys posted as it develops. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping I can have some kind of conversation with them, which I haven't been able to do so. It's almost like slowly but surely they're getting me accustomed to their presence in some way, or they want to take away all the fear. I don't know. But there's still no communication so far, but just, hi, we're here, that kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah, me too. I am very cute. That's exactly what they look like, by the way. Those little icons that you guys are sharing. That's exactly what it looked like. But they weren't very tall. It was like a little dude. I think he was shorter than me, I think. Anyway, let's see. Who else am I being drawn to? Let me just go to the Patreon page for the people who couldn't be here. Let's see. Elizabeth Liu. Elizabeth Liu. Let's get you a card. All right. Yeah, weird shit going on. I'm telling you, stuff is definitely changing. The veil's getting thinner. You know, ETs are really, they've gotten the okay, according to what Eric told me. They've gotten the okay to start interacting with people on a more profound, a bigger level. Before it was very kind of controlled who they could contact, how many people they could contact. But it feels to me like a lot of things are changing in that aspect because Eric's used some weird words. He said the liberation of humanity is a key factor to the survival of the universe, which I thought was a weird thing to say. I mean, liberation, it sounds like we're imprisoned in some way or form. Maybe, I mean, we have both whales for some reason. Do you like whales, Elizabeth? Look at that. Who knows what's going on? I'm sure, they never tell me everything. I just get little glimpses and little phrases. And it's almost like we're not allowed to know everything yet because maybe it would be interfering of our journey, of our expansion process. Who knows? Okay, this is for Elizabeth. Push to surface. You may have become complacent. I don't know if that's the right word. Complacent? Is that a word? You might be stalling or in need of a new surge of energy. Become aware of the dynamics of your life. And the other card reads, in the light of the moon. A full moon can shine light on what you have been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. It's all about energy, is what I'm feeling. It's all about energy and the energetic dynamics within your presence, within your life. So I feel like for some reason you're kind of self sabotaging yourself, and you might not be consciously aware of. In other words, I feel like although you're growing, expanding, you're continuously in a search mode for more answers and improvement and connection and connectivity and so on and so forth. You also need to pay attention to the energy that resides within your home, within your family, within your body. Okay. In other words, the focus cannot solely be on intellectual um, understanding, intellectual comprehension of facts and truth. But the focus also needs to be in incorporating or aligning your frequency, your energy, in all aspects of your journey with that knowledge, with those truths. Okay. So, when I see the moon, to me, that's almost first, I always look at that as kind of like a light battery. The moon charges. We can charge our crystals in the moon. We can cleanse our crystals in the moon. The moon is a very powerful station. It's really a station, isn't it? Now that we got all that figured out, thanks to Eric. The moon is a very powerful, energetic tool, we'll call it that, that really emits a lot of frequency. Now, they're almost making me feel like even the frequency of the moon, like the energy that the moon emits, has such an impact on the earth that it keeps us within a certain frequency as well. That's kind of interesting. Doesn't feel like it's applying to Elizabeth though, but that's what it kind of is. It's all about you can. It's like this. You can understand everything there is to understand about the moon and trying to get to all the details and all the information regarding what is the moon, what is its purpose, blah 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 blah. All this intellectual information, but until the moon is emitting the energy that you need in order to manifest and create the journey you seek, all that intellectual information isn't going to help you. Okay? You need to focus a little bit more, a little less on the intellectual understanding of the universe and oneself, and focus a little bit more on the energetic language that your body speaks, that your soul speaks, that your emotions speak, and your thoughts. Okay, I hope that makes sense a little bit. But when doing so, I feel like things will align a lot more with what it is you intend to design for yourself. So it's about making sure that this and this is aligned in some way or form, because too much focus here, not enough focus on the energy aspect of oneself. All right, I hope that helps. Julian Kalish, let's get your card, sweetheart. This one. Emma says, my dreams are absolutely mental. Mine and Gerald's. Gerald too. Gerald and I, we dream about crazy shit. Sometimes very intense. I believe that we tap into, a lot of times we tap into different realities, different dimensions, different possible futures. I think we see a lot of, we tap into a lot of versions of ourselves living in other places. That's what I think. Mary B says, I know the moon is housing an alien race that lost its planet. Yes. I wonder about the frequencies of it because we know it is so important to Earth also. You know what I just recently discovered too? And Jesus told me last time I contacted Jesus, he said we were going to do a post on that next time. So you know how they always talk about the big flood, right? Noah's Ark and the big flood and all of that. I don't know all the details. I've never read the Bible in my life, but something like that. Big flood, Noah's Ark, whatever. Jillian, these two came out. I'll show you already. But anyway, apparently this big flood really did happen, and it happened, and I'll tell you when the moon was brought into orbit around the Earth, or flat, I don't know. Now, you know, I think there's a flat Earth thing going on. But anyway, I have to channel about that. But my personal intuition says we have a flat Earth. Although couldn't tell you 5-10 years ago, I would have never thought that. For some reason, things are changing. Anyway, when it comes to the big flood, it did happen apparently, and it happened because the moon was brought into orbit, like we channeled before. And when that happened, it caused such a reaction on Earth that this massive flood caused a lot of damage, right? And you know what's really funny? Because after, was it last week or the week before? Somebody sent me a little video of a Native American after having read the Moon Post, and they said, listen to this story. So they have, apparently there's different tribes all over the world from before, the ancient tribes, who talked about the day the moon arrived, which is kind of interesting that not only the Native Americans, but also the Incas and the Egyptians and so many other tribes all around the world have stories about the day the moon arrived. And I think it's always been there. All this information for centuries has been there that, hey, the moon wasn't always there, and it's just being overlooked, and it's just, people just refuse not to, to ignore whatever. Anyway, we're doing a post on that. Now, at least that's what Jesus said. That would be our next post, would be on Noah's Ark and the flood and all of that stuff. Interesting. We'll see what comes out. Anyway, Jillian, moon energy and pure intention. The fairy of manifestation will help you to use your wishes wisely. Manifest your heart's desire with pure intention and for the highest good of all. And moon energy, there's the moon again. Surrender to the natural ebb and flow of life. If you're feeling confused, this fairy comes to calm emotions and reassure you that peace of mind is possible. Isn't that funny how we're talking about the moon and then the moon card comes out? All right. Hi, Heather. What am I getting for you, Jillian? I almost feel like cleansing. There's something about cleansing and feathers. Feathers. Have you been finding feathers lately? For some reason, I feel like your spiritual team is leaving you feathers or some kind of sign in nature. But for some reason, I keep seeing feathers. Because it almost feels like, from time to time, you also feel lost. You feel lost in what you, it's almost like you really have a hard time imagining or visualizing what you still want in life. You're just kind of like, oh, you're kind of in that state. And it's almost like your spiritual team has been trying to reach out to you to let you know that you should just um, they're saying fly with the wings that you have. It's almost like just kind of like the card says, it's like going with the flow. Just allow. It's like your creative thinking, your creator energy has been blocked um, because it's overshadowed by logic. It's like you're allowing the outside world to infiltrate. That's the right word. You're allowing the outside world to infiltrate your ability to create because you're allowing it to feed you with thoughts and ideas that do not comply with your belief systems. Okay. And they're basically saying, understand that there are no rules when it comes to the creative process on earth. Everything is simply an expression of your beliefs and your emotional state. So if you understand that, then you understand that allowing uh, limiting beliefs or allowing limiting influences to penetrate, to infiltrate your belief system simply just creates a blockage. It just simply creates the illusion of limitation. So, what they're saying is just go with the flow and truly understand that there are no limitations besides those that you create within your own mind. Okay. Let go of the limiting beliefs. Do not allow the outside world to infiltrate your heart space and your beliefs and your faith, and simply operate from the knowing that magic is real and occurs on a daily basis because every thought and every feeling creates, manifests, and moves mountains, is what I'm getting in my head. Hope that helps a bit. Okay. All right, I'm going to do one more and then we'll do a group card. Michelle says, when you are speaking from spirit, do you ever shift into a different accent? Yes, all the time. It seems silly, but it's happening in my own practice, perhaps from my own brain to distinguish my side of the conversation. I'm not looking for a card, but wasn't sure where to ask this question. It's a good question. We can make a post off of it, Michelle. But yes, The reason we sometimes change lingo or we change our accents is simply because we're spirit is merging their energy with ours to a certain level, a certain degree that they start to take over speech. Doesn't mean they're fully 100% into your body, but when we get close enough, when we merge close enough, then we can pick up habits, we can pick up ticks. I have had sessions where um, I started flickering my teeth for some reason, and I didn't notice it because when I'm channeling, I don't really pay attention to me, but I kept doing this. And, apparently her grandmother had that tick. I mean, that doesn't come from me. And how did I know? Grandmas don't have, they didn't have, her grandma died like 20 years ago. So, this is far beyond Facebook or any videos or anything like that. But she kept flickering her teeth and she was just in awe of, she just, was like, oh my God, my grandma had this tick and you're doing it. And it's just awesome. So you can pick up ticks, you can change. Sometimes I talk like an Aussie, or sometimes I talk with a weird accent. Um, I think they're just tools for spirit to give validations to the people who are trying to contact that spirit. They don't need to do that because that's not who they are in the afterlife. They're much more than just that. But sometimes we pick up on those things because they want us to pick up on them. They want us to change our accent or the way that they talk. Sometimes I use words that I'm going, those are kind of words I never use, but that person, for example, used that same word over and over and over almost every sentence. So, yeah, I think it happens all the time. It just means that you're channeling really well. So, keep up the good work, Michelle. Cecilia Middlecope. Cecilia. A little bit lost. Cecilia's a little bit lost in the work area. Okay, Cecilia, this one. Julian says, thank you so much, Emma. I feel caught between worlds very often. Ooh, wow. Infiltrate is a perfect word. Often infiltrates the new and sets me back. Yeah, it happens, It's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it. It just takes practice. And it takes practice and really being aware. 100% mindfulness, focusing on every word, every feeling, every thought, every belief as you're expressing it. Cecilia, I honor how I want to feel. Okay. What am I getting for you? In regards to the job, I honor how I want to feel. The information that's kind of coming through. For some reason, I get drawn to this. See how it's all kind of, different areas. It almost looks like different countries on a map. See that? But it almost feels like that's you. I feel like you have all of these different um, aspects when it comes to what you want to do. There's different regions, different modalities of channeling and healing, and I don't know, whatever it is that you want to do. But I feel like you need to honor what you feel. It's all about, you're trying to limit what you do because you feel insecure about what you're doing already. Um, and you feel like if you take on too many things, then it'll overpower or overwhelm you and you won't be able to master anything. But it's like you can try and master one thing, but don't be afraid to have fun with the other areas, the other regions of your interests. Um, it's all about having fun. It's all about, it can't be what you're trying to do. If you consider it a job, or if you approach it with that kind of job energy, then you'll never get to the level of mastery that you want. You have to approach anything that you do uh, with a joyful, passionate, kind of light and airy energy, and just simply say, look, I just want to have fun with what I do. And the more you have fun with what you do, the more you will become a master at what you do, because you'll no longer have the limiting energies to block you from expanding in that area, and to block you from exploring all the other areas that your interests are in. So it's about not limiting yourself to just doing one thing, but allowing yourself to see possibility in other areas as well. And by opening up that door, doesn't mean you have to go all in all at once on all these different areas, but by simply acknowledging that as you're growing, you're gonna open up more areas to explore. You're gonna encourage yourself. You're gonna create this energy of, you know what, this is not, I don't need to define my job, who I am in that job, by just picking one thing. I'm simply going to pick what I enjoy the most, and then once that's mastered, where there's going to be space for other things to explore. But it's like you need to tell yourself that there's space. It's like you've told yourself you can only do one thing and you have to be really good at it. And when you do that, that thought creates a feeling of being imprisoned or being trapped somewhere. You have to allow space for possibility and opportunity to continue to explore different modalities, and honor how you feel about that. That's really what it's about. So do not limit your thinking in regards to job, but know and understand that um, many different aspects within the same realm can be explored by you. Uh, and the mastery of that will come when it's the right time, when it evolves and grows and all of that. So stop putting so much pressure on yourself, basically. That's how it is. Hi, Emma. Still waiting for the baby. Yep. Just in time for the final, and the friends are family are home after my birthday. Oh, happy birthday! Well, let's get a card for the group, and then hopefully I see you guys again next week. Woo! Hold on, that was like a whole pack that flew out. Whoop! There it goes. Higher heart activation. Dropping shields, divine love, your heart is healed. You know what this card reminds? It's almost like this Stargate, It's Stargate. See that? It's like a Stargate. And it's almost like they're saying, look, this pinkish, it's the love, right? It's the activation of the heart, and to make sure that the heart is making all the decisions, not the head, right? And the only way that we can, really transcend is to have the courage to follow our heart, to follow the love, and to um, move through the portal of the unknown. We have to be brave enough to follow the unknown and to not fear it. But because when we are in a place where our heart is aligned, our heart is confident in what we believe, okay, then there is nothing to fear, even if we don't know what the future will hold, where we're being guided to, what dimension we're being moved into. When the beliefs are strong and the heart is in the right place, then there's absolutely nothing to fear to walk through that. So it's all about divine faith within your beliefs, and to have the courage to step forward with each day, even if you don't know where you're stepping towards. All right. I hope that helps, guys. This was fun. This was fun. I hope you guys come and join me again next week. I'm trying to find some time to do something extra for the people in the angelic realm, the angelic tier, the 10 euro tier. So I'm gonna see if I can do something extra next week for that if I have the time. It's been really busy and hectic, but we're working on it. But don't give up on me. I am still in it with all my heart and all my soul, and I'm here to help you guys and hopefully to enlighten you with my own experiences as well. And to everybody, happy Mother's Day. Even if you're not celebrating it today, depending where you live, happy Mother's Day anyway. And just understand that, the keys right now to moving fluently through kind of the maze that we're in is to really just kind of surrender, let go of um, any kind of resistance, and to just know in your heart that um, our wonderful heaven on earth is already created. All we need to do now is align with it. And that's it. As simple and as hard as that. All right. So stay focused, stay focused on your own experiences. Don't get distracted by the outside world, and simply continue to send out love and compassion and forgiveness into the collective universe, so we can continue to heal and wake people up. All right. I love you guys, and hopefully till next week. Big kiss, and have a good rest of your new week.